Okay, the recording is also on. Perfect. So let's begin. Um, First of all, this has to be an interactive session. I'll be asking you certain things, and I would like to have your interaction also because I'm looking at the screen and talking. Well, you are seeing me, you are seeing the slide. Okay, so I request your active participation throughout the session. And let's discuss today's topic, which is overcoming career parenting crisis. So before getting into the topic, I would like to know whether you are working or whether if you're working, whether it's work from home, work from office, or you're planning to get to work or whatever it is. Please mention your name and your status, like work from home, work from office, planning to work, whatever it is. Please let me know in the chat box. Okay, Shifa planning to work. Naima, hi. Rizwana work from home. Jina Banu working, work from home, planning to work. Farzana, what do you mean? Rizwana work from home, planning to work. Anisha planning to work. Okay, working, studying. Fatima Jannat. Mubashira Banu working from office. Working. Okay. So we have a good mix. Studying, having a clinic, planning to work, pregnant and stopped for a while. Okay. Working. Okay. So some of you might know me, and to others, I am the co-founder of Crink. Me, my husband, and four children. We live in Ernakulam, and I'm basically from Trivandrum, both in Kerala. I'm an engineer and a counselor, and through Crink, we are supporting parents successfully tackle today's this generation's parenting. And I'll share a few facts in today's session, which I learned over the past 13 years of raising four children, and also as a mom who has been working for the past 8 years. So, looking forward to today's session. So, we'll begin with the story or the case of a super mom. Her name is Ankita. She had come to a party today. And she had taken her daughter also. It's a kids' party, and she has come with her daughter. All the kids were behaving very well there, and the child, uh, while her child missed a piece of cake, and she started screaming. Ankita asked her to stop, but she was not obeying. Somehow she tried to manage the situation and escape the crowd and went to the restroom and started scolding her, spanked her till, Ankita was stress free. And after that, she burst into tears. Does the situation seem familiar to you? Or is it alien? Okay, can you please mute your mic? I don't know who it is. Okay, Husna, Sana. Okay, so behind the scenes, Ankita, she's a working mom and she's working day and night to meet the two ends. She leaves home very early, and this day she managed somehow to take a 2 hour break and come and pick her child to the to attend the party because she wanted her child to enjoy the party. It was a kids' party. Mm. And she has to rush back to work after this party also. So she was so tight with her work, with all her stress, and this is how she behaved. Now, next is Supermom Renu. She lives in a joint family. She spends 24 into 7 in the kitchen mostly. Other family members try to say negative about her to her son, and her son is not valuing her. He is not obeying her. As a result, she also shouts at him and spanks quite often. She doesn't know what to do. She's not feeling productive in the work that she's doing, in the household chores that she's doing. She hears accusations from others and she's also having a hard time. This is also relatable, right? Don't we see people in both these category like Ankita and Renu around? So my question towards you is, who is having a harder life here? Is it Ankita or Renu? Abhinaya says both. Fatima says Renu. Amreen says both. Okay. Yes, as a majority, as a child who I don't know who mentioned that. This chat is just going. Okay. Okay. So when we consider both the mothers, actually both are having a hard time. And mostly, actually, our response depends on the environment that we are exposed to. Some may feel that is more um, suffering, while some others feel that Ankita is more suffering, and it all depends on our exposure. And in fact, as majority of you have mentioned, both are equally drained to the bottom. Both are stressed, depressed, and days pass by without knowing what to do. And both of them blame their situations also. Like, I'm not spending enough time with my child. He's going away from me. I don't seem to have any control on what is happening. And most of the time, we think that it is because we are working. When we start our journey as a working mom, majority of the time we think that it is because we are working that we are not able to attend to the things in front. And once we stop it, everything will be fine. That is our dream. But it's not our work exactly that hinders what are things that we want to achieve. It is those things that you compromise on, which you shouldn't be compromising. That is where the problem is. So whether you're working or not, there are certain things that you should do, and else the situations can go totally wrong. So in today's session, we'll be discussing these areas. One is the must the very much asked question, which is, should I work or should I not? That is a question that I get quite commonly. We'll be addressing that, and we'll go ahead with the 5 mantras that working mothers can keep in mind. And along with that, we'll be seeing what are the areas that we need to prioritize. How can you and your child prepare for your work life, and what to concentrate at different ages of your child. Okay. So first, let's begin with this big question. Should I work or should I stop my work or should I not work? Should I or should I not? That is a question. So this is a common question. And what do you think? Should women go to work or not? Just a second, okay? I need 2 minutes. Okay, so definitely depends on help or support to get at home. Priority should be kids. Subjective. Go to work. Should work. Yes, should. Um, Priority should be kids. If she enjoys it, she should. It's totally up to the mother. Should work without compromising kids. If she decides, I don't think mothers should have compulsion over this. If you're not ready to prioritize kids, don't bring them to earth. Should be financially independent. Depends on mother and her ability. Yes. So we have mixed opinions here. And I'll discuss 3 factors now, which you should be considering when you are encountering this dilemma, like should I work or should I not? In that dilemma, we'll discuss 3 factors that you should definitely be considering. The first one is what fascinates you. Someone has mentioned here, like it's totally up to the mother. If she wants to, she should. If she doesn't want to, she needn't. That is definitely one of the points that she has to consider. For some of us, staying at home is something that we can never ever imagine of. We want to contribute to the society, be financially independent, and engage in some other productive activities. For others, they cannot think of working. They want to contribute to the family, to do, and that will be the thing that is fascinating them. If you yourself are satisfied with what you are selecting, then no one's external comment will be able to affect you. Because you might all know we are definitely going to get comments on what we are choosing. And if we choose that wholeheartedly, then these things are not going to affect us. I know both these mentality. Initially, I wanted to contribute only to my family, and I knew I'm unable to take up another job. I wanted to concentrate on my family. I worked on myself. My kids learned how to raise them, and at that time, I've always heard criticisms of not going to work. Some of them were saying it honestly because they wanted to see me working. I've studied well. They wanted to see me in a work role. While some others were criticizing, like, can't you support your husband? Hmm? That is also one thing. So, and that was a period. And now, at this stage, I'm fascinated about helping others and to manage. Fascinated in the sense, fascinated about helping you manage your children better or managing your work life better. So, your fascinations can change over time also. Stick to your fascinations. Do not regret in what you're choosing, and you won't regret when you choose what you really want at that particular point. That is one point to consider, but that is not the only point to consider. The second thing is, what is the situation demanding from you? At this point of your life, you may need financial independence. You may need confidence and self-worth and competence in your life. That urge to contribute to the society, you that may be the situation in which you are in, or your family situation demands you not to work also. Maybe your children are too young, or your health condition is not letting you, whatever it is. What is the situation demanding at this point? This is the second factor that we need to consider, and I guess you need to give more weightage to the second one, but not at the cost of the first one. Okay, a balance of one and two is what we need. And when we choose that, we just do whatever we take up. Whatever roles we take up, we just do it. Today's session will help you to an extent in handling that. We'll see what you need to take care of while you are working when you have a child. So, to be just to the roles you take up means you need to plan what should be compromised and what should not be compromised. In earlier days, it was as if a village is raising a child, right? There were so many members who were involved, but now it's not like that. Most of us are spending are in nuclear families, and when only a dad or a mom or a single parent is raising, but still our vision for our children, our goals for our children, that has only increased over time. It has not reduced. So when we both are handling it on our own or we are handling it single-handedly, then there are a lot of limitations that we have. Our expectation, when we are still in that expectation, there can be a gap. So let's see, without having that gap, how we can take these things forward. That will be a major discussion today. I'm single, financially unstable, mom with three toddlers under three. I'd really appreciate if you could advise. Okay, Hiba, we can keep the questions towards the end. I hope you'll have takeaways from today's session. So when it comes to work, you have to be prepared for a few things. Knowing the downsides will definitely help us, prepare things way ahead and tackle it better. Um, the time that you have spent together with your partner, with your other family members, that is really going to come down. You'll be rushing with your shopping. You'll be thinking about several factors before even deciding to travel, even if it is a short travel. Household duties may seem like an unending job. Laundries may pile up. You'll be overwhelmed and frustrated. Parties at home, guests coming in, celebrations, these will all give you more headache than before. I can guarantee that. And you may be too packed to give a call to your friends and relatives. Even cooking, that was pretty easy for me in earlier days, that was getting very tiresome as my workload was increasing. And also as my children um, grew up and batch cooking was having certain limitations as they grow up. And moreover, the guilt that we are not doing enough for our family, especially kids, and our partner, that is the hardest thing that is going to strike us. And even if we forget self care, once in a while it pops up in our mind. So, anger, blame, criticism, confusions, feeling low, exhaustion, frustration, fatigue, these are all there in the path. So, all working moms here, I would like you to know that this is not just your problem. It is not just you who feel this way. And to others, this is what you are getting into. And in the coming few minutes, I hope we can discuss on few things which can reduce this big mess that is there. Okay, are you ready for that? Yes or no? Sajna, this is an English session, as non-Malayalis are also here. Okay, good. Now, we actually know that family is our most important prior thing to us. We even keep our health below, um, the priority that we give our health is sometimes below our family's priority. Like, for example, if you have your gym scheduled at 5 p.m. and your child needs to visit a doctor, you'll definitely skip your gym. But if it's a vice versa, that it's your doctor visit and your child has a swimming class, you'll definitely analyze 100 times whether you can skip it or not, skip your doctor visit, or how important is that to me, or is there any other way to pick and drop the child? You'll be thinking several times. So we know family is important, but if we look into the depth of our habits and our actions, we see that we are not working as per our priority. We may be missing several things that we have to do with our children, and we'll be compromising on matters that we should not be compromising on, and we need to change it. So let's see how we can give the right to our children when we have a full time work. For that, we'll be exploring the 5 mantras now. I'll be walking you through that. First one, accept imperfection. Accepting that there are no perfect working parents. Sometimes we may act in ways that we don't like ourselves too, but we cannot help. So if you focus on that perfect parent, then you'll be highly disappointed. So accept your imperfection, but it's upon us to correct ourselves because we are dealing with little humans. My husband, actually, he had a toxic parenting from his father. And the effort that he puts to end the transmission of that toxicity to the children, that is immense. And he's a proof that it is possible also. And when he is trying to break the chain of his father's parenting, I am trying to hold the chain together. You know, what parenting I got, I'm trying to transfer that, to transfer whatever I got from my parents. I've never ever felt undervalued in my family, never felt disrespected in my family. My feelings were always given importance to. So, my challenge is in keeping that intact. I try to not start toxicity with me. And either of this won't look perfect. Whether you want to block the generational toxicity or you want to continue the positivity, it is not going to be easy and it won't look perfect. But it is our responsibility to keep correcting on the go so that we can improve on the days in which we lose ourselves. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay. Shifa, Amina, Anisha, Fatima, Hisana. So, Basila, Salva. Okay. So, let's move ahead to the second one. Mold responsible, independent kids. This is one thing that you can do to prepare you and your child for your work life. Give kids small responsibilities that they can enjoy. The household chores, it can be a difficult task for us, especially when time is very limited. But to children, especially when they are young, it is all fun activities. Take them to your workplace. My husband used to do that, and I also do it now. Like, take them to the workplace and get them exposed to the work that you are doing. Don't consider that it is not the right time to expose them to all this. They should also know that will surely mold them in becoming more responsible. And now two of my children are, by God's grace, they are active contributors in Crink. Like one is involved in the development, other in the UI design, and also in editing. So they play their active role as well. When can we start it? See, there is no particular age. My husband started it when my child was 1 year old. Just for a few hours, he used to take him to his office and then bring him back. So, whatever age, however early, even if it is for a half an hour, that will be a learning to the child. And it is like watering a plant. It is not just a one time effort. You take one whole day now, and then for another 3 4 years, you don't mind it. It's not like that. This is like watering a plant. Consistent, small steps will surely give result, and that will help you immensely in your work life. So when I started working also, this was something that was very useful to me, because when I'm back at home, I don't have to be behind them for so many tasks, and I can spend that time in things that matter the most. Also, when it comes to household chores, there is, all kids, they also pitch in, and it is a combined work that happens. So invest your time in making them responsible and independent. That is the second thing. Now moving on to the third. Now we are all working moms or planning to be working moms, but that's not enough. We have to be conscious working moms. Now what is consciousness? What is consciousness?
Being aware of what's happening. Like,
Yes, self awareness, being aware of what is happening. Okay. So, consciousness, it is being aware of what is happening around and responding based on that awareness. Now, most issues in your workplace or with your children, it happens because we are not conscious. When there is a load of emails to be answered and a lot of pending works, being present consciously when your child is talking about his friend who bullied him, it can be very tough, honestly. Just like being mindful of what goes into our mouth when we are dieting, we have to be conscious with our children also. I used to have a habit of, having any food that is left over, because I didn't want to, pop in that small amount into the fridge and I finish it off. But then when I started dieting, I was very conscious. I don't take things like that, right? There, I'm being more conscious of its effects. No, isn't the screen moving? Dr. Amreen says she can't see the screen. Okay, Shifa,
no,
thank
it's
you.
okay, I think.
Visible. Okay, thank you. Who was that? Amreen, can you just leave and rejoin? Sometimes that might stop. Okay. So there are so many things that preoccupies our mind when our kids are talking to us, and at an age when they don't uh, talk to us much, we also just get carried away in our busy life. So what happens is, you notice a negative behavior. First of all, there will be a great detachment between you and your child. And another negative effect is, when you notice a negative behavior in your child, say for example, your child is lying to you once in a while, like your child lied to you, and you are not conscious, and you just acted very weirdly, and you warned the child and you left the situation. Okay, the situation was a bit worse, but you warned the child and it went completely out of your mind. And again, you'll think about this the next time you see him lying. But if you are conscious, a right response from you will come at that time, and you'll be addressing this issue before there is a second episode. That can happen only when you are mindful and when you are conscious. With being conscious, it's always about looking into yourself or looking inside. This child was telling a story to her mom, to his mom. And mom's expression was just half interested right from the beginning. And halfway through, she just started shouting and she said, this is no story time, just go and do your homework. So as she was shouting, the child was totally confused and also disappointed, and the child left. In case of a mom who is not conscious, this situation ends there, while the scar that she has created, that is being there with the child, right? And if the mom is conscious, she checks why she got irritated when the child was telling a story. And then she realized she was worried about the child's poor language, poor communication skills. The teacher had already given a call to her to work on it from home. Her parents are also reminding her about the same, that the child is not speaking properly. And she's feeling so bad that she is blaming herself. Oh, I have not attended to that. So, as the child was speaking to her, this is what hit her mind. And that is why she reacted like that. So, being conscious helps us work on the real cause that is there. Otherwise, all these situations that will just remain there, add on one after the other, and cause a greater mess. So this is hard to do. See, when a situation is happening like this, it is hard to train our mind to be conscious on how we respond and to tackle the real cause. But like most things do, this also gets easier over time. And also sometimes you might need a help also in that. Now, coming to the fourth one. This is another thing that you can do to prepare you and your child for your work life. Invest in the relationship with your child, because it's very easy to revert to aggression, violence, shaming, etc. And over the year, what happens is the child internalizes what he or she is hearing all the time. They may develop a sense that I'm the cause of all the problems that are happening here, because that is what we make the child feel. Our attitude, our behavior, it can be psychologically damaging to the children. Either it can negatively affect their behavior, their mood, their thinking process, their reasoning skills, and more. And even it can affect their physical well being. So, if we don't take it seriously and invest in providing a safe and calm environment for our children, we are going to raise adults who find it very difficult to keep trying when it is needed. Adults who fail to bring about progress in their lives because they keep blaming themselves. If you look around, you'll see people like that. When something happens, they just keep blaming themselves. They're not able to come out of the situation. They turn helpless very fast because they believe they have no control over what is happening. And also, there's a greater chance that there is difficulty in forming a warm, intimate relationship with others, difficulty with managing their own aggression, and also it can give rise to depression in later life. So, but if we consciously invest the right way, we'll be able to provide a safe and confident environment to the child. We'll be able to give them the signal that we are readily available to them, even when we are busy, that we are sensitive to their emotions, we value it, and respond well when they need help. So there's a kind of safety and security that the children feel when we invest in the relationship with the children. They'll be more confident and they'll be ready to explore the world around. Now, why is it important to invest in the relationship with your child very early? That is because as their age increases, your influence over them is probably going to decrease. The easiness with which we can mold them, that is also going to decrease. And definitely, your concerns, that is going to increase over time. And none of the concerns will be able to end by giving a chocolate, right? So this is why we need to invest in the relationship and attend to their needs and their behavior at an early phase. Now, where should you invest your time at different age groups with your children? Now, for a child who is less than 3 years, These are the things that you should never miss passing on to them. You need to work on building a right kind of bond with the child, pass on positivity to them, and show that you care for their feelings. It is not like when they are crying, you are not minding or you are getting angry at them. You need to make them feel, and you need to really do this, that you need to make them uh, realize that you care for their feelings, and they are highly moldable at this stage. Now, from 4 to 8, continue building on the bond, focus on their character building, give them the right attitude. That means during a crisis time, even if you are not telling them how to respond, there is a way that they respond to, and that is highly dependent on the environment that you are giving. Even though you don't tell them how to, they are observing everything and they catch that attitude. And also start sowing the seeds of responsibility. This stage is also a moldable stage for your child. Now, from 9 to 12, it takes some time to mold at this stage, but it's not impossible. They have become more independent at this stage, and your influence you'll see that it has started decreasing. Emotions can run high at this time, and you need to take every effort to maintain the influence that you have or to improve the bonding with the child. If you've already set the bond, even if that independence increases, you'll see that you still have that influence over them. They'll value your words, even though it's not like, Paka, whatever you say, they are going to obey. It may not be, it may not look like that. But then when there are crucial decisions that they make, they'll surely value your opinions. And at this stage, concentrate on increasing your influence. Try to be their friend whom they'll listen to. When I say friend, it's not like, uh, our best friends are not the ones who we always agree to. We'll have hard talks and we'll have disagreements also, but then we'll be ready to listen to them. So such kind of a friendly relationship you need to maintain with them so that you can guide them. And 13 plus, continue being their friend, increase your influence, be their guide and not their police. And you shouldn't be the one who is policing them. Okay, so these are the different things that you need to concentrate on different at different ages. But at any age, provide them safety, give a safe space, physically safe space, as well as give safety for their emotions, invest time in bonding. Also, give them the right attitude. How you react in immediate situations, that is surely going to have an impact on them. The hope you put, the irritations that you show to people, to situations, these all, that is all going to be absorbed. Now, have this in mind always. And if we consciously invest in the right way, we'll be able to provide them with safety, confidence, and we'll be able to signal that we are someone who is safe to them, who is available to them, even when we are busy. Um, there is a kind of safety that the children feel when we build this kind of a bond with them. This security that is going to impart confidence. I normally hear people saying, my child is very clingy. He or she is not letting me do anything, very always clinging on to me, and I think that he's over bonded. But please, my dear sisters, please understand that there is nothing like over bonding. You need to set maximum bond with your child, how much ever is possible. You need to form that bond with your child, and you need to make the child independent. That is something else that you need to do. Hmm? So don't couple these two. Invest your time in building the bond and giving them the right attitude and in things that we mentioned just now. Just before moving on to the next part, I would like to introduce Crink. As some of you might know, Crink supports parents establish a safe environment in their homes. If controlling kids was our aim, then we could have easily resorted to aggression, right? But if we aim to raise secure, confident kids, if that is our aim, then we need to establish a relationship that is based on love, trust, and care. We need to know how to establish positive boundaries with them. We need to know how to guide them so that they are also in a listening phase. And at Crink, we help you do these things and more with your children. We help you establish the right bond, help you with setting boundaries in the right way, so that your children are more listening to you, and there is a cooperation that you see from your child's end. And also we do help you with the time management, especially when you are working. We help you with the time management as to not to miss those important things that you need to do with your children. We'll help you find time and do the right things appropriately. Okay. And it's not like, once you join Crink, everything is set. We'll do magic. It is not like that. There has to be a dedication from your end, a dedicated effort from your end. But by dedicated effort, I don't mean that you have to spend 2 to 3 hours every day. How much ever time you have, 15 minutes or 30 minutes in a week, that is enough. We will customize it to your availability. But the only thing that I want from you is your commitment and consistency in the effort that you are putting in. So if you're ready to spend at least 15 minutes a week to transform your family, then a parent mentor from Crink will be able to guide you. Okay, so
When
let's.
you work, work. When you play, play. Don't mix the two. Don't work at play. I used to take my family to the beach and I would bring my briefcase. I learned not to do that. Or at the beach, I'm saying I should be at the office. I should be at the office. Now my family's upset.
Are you able to hear the voice? Can someone say? I can't see the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Because I'm at the beach and I'm thinking office, office, office. Now when I'm at the office, I'm thinking what? I got to get my family to the beach, the beach, the beach. So things are not going too well at the office because I'm thinking beach, and things are not going too well at the beach because I'm thinking office. Here's what I learned to do. At the beach, be at the beach. At the office, be at the office. When you work, work. When you play, play. Don't mix the two. When you work, work. When you play. When
Okay.
you work, work. When you play, play.
Okay, fine. So this
When
is
you work,
what we'll assist you with. When you work, you need to work, and when you play, you need to play. So there will be a sort of mixing that happens. Definitely, we cannot completely say that we need to keep our work completely out when we are at home. That is completely impossible. But we'll be able to guide you to keep these two things separate to a greater extent, so that the damage is not done to your kids. Okay, so this has to be our top priority. Put more effort on raising emotionally sound children and emotionally secure self. That means yourself, so that you don't need energy to heal broken minds. And we'll be able to help you in that in case you need support. Now, moving ahead with the fifth one. Remember, never go for easy stuffs that can create long term damage, like multiple kids. When there are issues that are happening with multiple kids, you just create a competition between them, and you'll see that things are going smooth. One is not having food, you say that the other is having food, and things are settled. One is not writing, you just compare him with the other, and things are settled. But we are sure that it's going to create a long term damage, isn't it? Do you agree?
Yes, sure.
Yes, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, Hisana, Jasmine, Kafifa, Shifa. Now, what else is there? Like, it gives us immediate result, but then we are sure that it creates long-term damage. Anything else that comes to your mind?
Will it not encourage them to do good?
Which one? The example that I mentioned?
Yeah, we encourage them to do like the sibling who is doing good at his work.
See, that is what. We may get the result at that time because they compare themselves to their sibling and they do it at that time. But then, when they get into this habit of comparing everything with their sibling, the long-term damage that happens is always they'll have a grudge towards the sibling. Their point will always, their major mark will always be where the sibling is standing. They want to cross that. That will be their only mentality. And I know several people who say that even when they grow up and they end up in a college or in a workplace, they cannot stop comparing themselves to others because they always see their worth by looking at how the next one is. So that is going to create a long term damage, isn't it? Who asked the question? I haven't seen the name. Okay, yes, screen time. Definitely. That is another thing that gives us instant result, but a long-term damage. There are several parents who have got into that. They've started it for feeding their child or for just having some quiet time, but then it has become a completely, thing that is very hard to detach from the child, and it is causing more damage. Bribing with sweets and screen time, yes. Threatening with imaginary stories to eat food, yes. Bribing, yes. So we need to help ourselves get out of these because these are going to create long term damages. Just focus on the long term goal, then you'll yourself find things and steps that you can do to tackle the short term problem that is in front of you. And if you see, your child is not having food, or your child is not studying, or the child is not behaving well, if you're not able to motivate them in the right way, seek support rather than switching to something that is sure to give a long term damage. Okay. Yes, spanking. Definitely creating fear in them to obey. Yes, these all fall in that category. Now, this is a hard truth. We have dealt with 5 points now, and the hard truth is that even if we turn successful in our work or with people outside, if the family relationships are rotten, then we'll be really grieving from inside. There will always be a burn inside, even if whatever success comes to us. I get to hear mothers and fathers telling me that I cannot enjoy the success in office because my kids and my spouse is a mess. My relationship is a mess. So being a dad and mom is perhaps the only role that will be with us for the entire life. And a failure there will definitely leave a scar in our minds. So let's act quickly and do the right thing and give the right to our children. So children learn a lot by observing. Kids are they may not be exactly behaving like you're behaving, like many of us feel like whatever good we do they don't copy, but whatever wrong we do they'll be instantly copying. But my dear sisters, please remember that whatever we show them they are observing, and the impact of the environment that we give them, that is everlasting in their lives. So with that we have come to the end. We'll just end on this note. The best thing we can do to our child, not just to our child, the best thing we can do is to be present, whether it be with our work, kids, spouse, friend, or whoever or whatever it is. The best thing is to be present. And always remember to make time for each other as a family, as a couple, as as a parent and child. Just have time for each other. Focus on filling each other's positivity. We have bigger goals to achieve. Don't let the small arguments and small things in between hinder that big goal that you are working towards. Pass positivity and seek the right support. Crink is there to support you in case you are you're struggling to handle anything related to your personal life, as in your work life balance or anything related to your children. Shruti, can you please put your number? What if
Sure.
couples are not on the same page? Shifa, that is a big challenge, and it depends on how mature your relationship is to discuss matters like that. Mostly, what me and Rasam, what we do is on matters where we disagree, we have a discussion alone when kids are not there. We have a discussion and we come to a common term. Some things sometimes maybe after the discussion we'll realize that what I said was right, and we'll go that way. Sometimes it will be like what Rastam said, and there are situations when we can't accept the other party at all. At that time we come to a midpoint and we follow that. Okay. So Shruti has put the number. um in case you have any concerns or your aspirations related to parenting and your work life balance, you can contact Crink. This is the number, the last same number that is shown in the chat box. So I hope the session was useful. How was it? Is there any other further doubts?
Mariam, we have some raised hands there.
Sorry.
We have some people has raised their hands. Anisha, VP, Afifa, Fatima Hussain.
Okay, so what should I do? I'm sorry. They can't speak now.
Yeah, they can.
Okay, please go ahead. If you have any concerns, you can go ahead.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, please call me Maria.
Okay, Mariyam. Uh, my child is now is 1 year old, and
Who
I'm
is
planning
speaking?
to.
May I know your name?
Amina.
Okay.
Okay, my
Yes,
child
Amna.
is 1 year old,
Mm,
and now I'm rejoining to my work. Maybe
mm,
on July.
mm.
No, now I'm very anxious about. Is she feeling like I'm abandoning her or something like that? I
Um, s- yes. See, as we discussed in the session, it's not because you are working. When you are at home, also your child can feel that way. Mm. So, what we need to see when you're working or not, what we need to see is you are giving the rights of the child. You're being present in their life. You're establishing the bond with them. You're providing a safe environment to them. Whatever we discussed in today's session, please go ahead and implement. If you need support, please contact Crink. He'll be able to help you exactly how to manage such that you are available for your child.
okay. Thank you, Mariyam.
Any other doubts?
Ma'am, may I?
Who is who is this?
This is me, Advocate Gayatri.
Gayatri.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, go
So,
ahead. Call me Mariyam. Go
okay,
ahead.
Mariam. Okay, there happened a career break, and when I came back, I saw me in very back of the career. I mean, when I was started, I already built some foundation. Then the break came of 2 to 3 years. Then I have to start again from the zero. I'm mentally and emotionally, it is very draining, and I don't know how to handle this one.
In what field are you, Gayatri?
Law and entrepreneurship.
Okay. So, see, career break um, is something that that hits more women than males, I guess, because of childbirth and all. And at that time, one thing that we need to do is um, when you are taking a break, just see that you are upskilling in your area. But I don't think that is possible now. And for you, what I would say is just give yourself some time, see that how you can upskill and fill the gap that was already there. Hmm? And also take apt mentors who are there in your field, get their guidance and see how you can fill the gap. And maybe see, when we are getting back after a long gap and when we haven't worked during that gap, worked in the sense, there will be a time when we are taking a gap, and if we can keep ourselves updated with certain courses by part-time jobs, or volunteering for certain things for just a few hours a day, if such things we are continuing, then we can definitely um oh, just okay, just 1 second, I'll be back. That I'm sorry for that. Okay, so what I was saying is, if you can, during your break time, if you could have done those things, then the transition into work would be smoother. But then, since that was not there, just see this period as a period when you're volunteering for work and you're filling your gap. Just set yourself certain time, like 6 months or whatever. I don't know your field, so just set yourself some time and see that that time you're not focusing on how much you are earning, but you're focusing on upskilling yourself. Have a right mentor, work with them, do volunteer works and take up all the works and see how well you can upskill yourself.
Ma'am, I'm from the field of law. I'm working as a lawyer.
Mm.
So when I took the break and came back, my male counterparts make the said to my clients that she is married now, having kids, and now it's very difficult for focus on the work. So better to give the case to a male lawyer than a female lawyer. So it's kind of a mass attack, and I have no idea how to handle this one. It's very pressurizing, ma'am.
Definitely, definitely. See, Gayatri,
I already have a customer base. It is
mhm,
really good, but now this they are
this
like my
propagation is going
competitors.
on.
Yes, ma'am. I have no idea how to handle this one. I'm doing this cases and I'm getting success in there. I'm getting money, but now the this is attack is increasing day by day.
See, Gayatri, on the go, this attacks would be there, but then the impact that you are creating in your clients, that should increase. Mm. Once you're back from work, you might be getting clients, but then as you go, you should be able to give maximum output. As in, there has to be so many cases that is in favor of you, so that through these clients whom you are handling, uh, a support for you or referral system should work. Mm. So give yourself some time and see that you serve well to the clients, whoever is approaching you. And if we take in this negativity from the external parties, then our work will also be affected. But see that, that will always be there. Let me work on what is coming to me. And once you excel in that, that is surely going to speak for yourself. In matters like this, what we need to do is see, we cannot control what the other party is saying, right? And when we think more and more about that, we'll be totally drained. In such moments, just see what you can do. And here, what Gayatri can do is just do your work perfectly. How many clients are coming to you, just see that you do it perfectly. That is the area in which you can focus, in which you can work. Just focus on that and move ahead.
Okay, ma'am. So how to fight back against this? I mean, emotionally, I'm in a very low place
I get
because
it. I get it.
yes,
I get
I'm
it.
feeling lonely and literally crying.
Yes, it's not easy when it's coming from, your peers like this. But I hope things will change when you start creating the impact, hopefully.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Mumtaz, you can contact in the number. Okay, Rizwana, any other doubts?
Yeah. Hello,
Yes, please.
I'm Raiva, and I'm working from office. I have
Mm,
I'm raising actually three kids,
mm,
um, and my elder one is 9 years,
mm-hmm.
middle one is 7 years, and the younger one is 5 years. So the problem I'm facing is the time I spend with my kids. I find it difficult to balance the time that I give them. Three of them require me, and I have little time to spend with them. So I find it difficult to balance the time I give them.
You're talking about individual time that you spend with each child, right? Raiva?
Think their their problems, but I have to
Sorry, your
give
voice
the
is missing.
hello.
Yes,
Can you
yes, go
hear?
ahead. Yes.
Uh, when I'm coming from office, three of them will be rushing to me with their own problems. So I have to prioritize and give the time to them. I find very difficult in managing that.
Yes, I get it. I get it. When we have multiple children, this is one of the challenges. As I have four, I also understand it. Um, to stop this cycle, like now, it is like everyone feels like they are not getting you, they want you. Mm? To break the cycle, when you start giving apt bonding steps with each child, for example, if you start giving individual time with each child, maybe that can be It can be once in a while, but it has to be consistent. For example, weekly once you spend say 20 minutes with one child. Hmm? Next week you will be spending with the other one. And third week you'll be spending with one. So initially there can be a chaos like, I'm not getting that time, because they don't know that their time is also waiting. They can't grasp that entirely. That chaos can be there. But then once the system starts running, then you'll see that your children are internally satisfied that they are getting their mom. Once bonding steps like this individual time is just one thing. So there are several things that you can do to establish that bond with your children. When these bonding steps are there in place, then everyone will feel like mama is mine. And only when they feel that mama is mine, then only they'll be able to come up a level higher and think that mama is ours. Hmm? Mostly what happens is when they start demanding us, we try to communicate to them that I have to be available to them also, to your siblings. We'll be communicating that aspect, our family aspect. But then the work has to start at an individual level. Start building relationship and bonding with one child at a time. And once that is set, then they'll be able to come to the next level of spending time as a family. At that time, once the bond is set, then they'll also feel less craving to come to you. Like this, I mean. Now it is like, I'm not getting, I have so many things, so I'm not getting mama. But once the
Initially,
bonding is
what
set,
I used
that
to
will.
do is, I give time to the younger one, and the elder ones are suffering actually.
Yes, that happens because younger one is 5, right?
Yeah.
See, when they are demanding how many, I mean, whatever age they are, the younger ones when they demand, it hits us differently. We'll feel more empathetic towards them. So there's a tendency that we give that more, but then we have to be just to all. Mm? We need to take that extra step and see that we are being just to all. And as I said initially, it can be a chaos, but then once you set the bond rightly, you'll see the impact very well.
This time, let me ask. You telling this time because right, like apart from others, me and the kid alone, like that. You telling spending
Yes,
time.
yes, one-on-one time. That is one thing that you can start with now.
Okay, can
Through
you
Crink,
go with this?
we are
Yes.
giving personalized guidance to parents, and we customize the activities for you and help you establish the right bond with each child. Mm? And one thing that you can do is having this individual time. And if you need further support, please do message Crink.
Okay.
Yeah, Mariam, I have a question to ask.
Yes, who is this?
Yeah, this is Shifa.
Okay, Shifa, go ahead.
Yes, actually, right after postpartum, I shifted. I mean, I had a lots of work to do, and my child was small, and I was going through an emotional turmoil as well. So there was no support at all, and my in-laws, they were not behaving well at that time. So I
Mm-hmm.
succumbed to such methods. Like, it was not intentionally I wanted to do, but yes, I I did. Like, I spanked and yelled at my child whenever she did wrong when she was just 2 or 3, and it did that. I mean, it affected her in the long term, and it did damage. So I want to know, and now I'm improving myself, but sometimes it's an auto response because I'm used to it. So how can I undo that, and is it possible, like, now? Because I'm afraid that the memories she must be having, if they can be deleted from her mind, I think that emotionally, otherwise she is doing good, but sometimes at difficult situations she is unable to handle her big emotions.
How old is your child now, Shifa?
She's just 4.
4 years. Okay. As I mentioned in the session also, 4 years is a highly moldable time. You have not missed your best,
Yeah.
hopefully. And the first step is already done. That is the realization that this is a mistake, and the initial steps to, correct it. And hopefully, with the right support and with the right activities, you will be able to make up for everything that has happened. Mm.
Right.
And also, especially, it is a moldable stage, so that is highly possible. The only thing is you need to be consistent in that, consistent in the positive interactions that you are giving your child. Mm. And if you feel like, at times your child is remembering that also, you can always ask sorry for that. Have you ever talked to your child about that?
Yes, many a times, many a time.
Okay, and how was the response?
Yeah, she forgave me many a times, but I feel that it's like an auto response.
Yes, that
Whenever
happens.
my, yeah, whenever my feelings are somewhere else,
See,
whenever yeah, whenever I feel overwhelmed, when I'm not feeling well, uh, then this happens a lot.
hmm.
Otherwise, not. Otherwise,
have
I'm
you
really confident.
have you sought any help during that time when you after during that postpartum time?
No, I did not get time. Just household chores and other responsibilities, small child and shifting, all that stuff. So I couldn't take time. Once I joined parenting without frustration, but yes, I could not complete it in time. And I had other family issues. My mother was a cancer patient. I had to look after her as well. So it was like, I didn't get time for myself to heal.
Hmm.
And family was also not supporting, and my in-laws, they were toxic as well. So it was like, I never got time for myself.
Hmm.
So physically as well, mentally and emotionally and spiritually as well, so I was like drained out. So it was the outcome because I didn't get time for myself. And now I'm just trying to heal myself, and the response has become better. But yes, sometimes I feel that it's an auto no, it's like whenever I feel like, I don't feel good, and whenever my mind is somewhere else, that I have to do this and that, and then my
It
child throws
automatically
tantrum.
comes.
Yes, it comes automatically. Now I have tried to stop myself, but yes, and there is a guilt. I have lived, so much in the guilt frame. Like whatever I did, I have cried a lot before her, said sorry, sought her, forgiveness. Like, and she understood it, but she is a small child.
Hmm. See, Shifa, what you need is not parenting without frustration. The reason is parenting without frustration is a group session, right? So
Right.
everyone will be guided in a similar format. Mm. While personal mentorship will be more suitable to you because that will help you heal and tackle each situations in the right way.
Okay.
There, the parent mentor will be able to cater to your specific case, specific situations.
Okay.
And
Okay.
as you rightly said, it is healing that has to happen first. And then what needs to be done is you need to know how to handle the situation at hand. Right. Then
Right.
you won't feel stressed. Majority
Yes.
of the times, one is our internal struggles that push us to behave in wrong ways. And the second thing is we feel quite incapable. Like when things are happening, I don't know how else to react, you know.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
so that also you need to solve. So these are the two areas that you need to work, whether from Crink or from another outside person. But I would highly recommend that you go ahead with the therapy sessions initially and then to parenting.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mariam. Thanks a lot.
Okay. I guess we have come to the end. It's 8:40. Thanks a lot for being here. Anisha, okay, with Greenspan and mental support, it will be possible. Thank you. Dr. Amreen, how can we handle the influence of our in-laws over your parenting choices since this cause a image in front of the child that I'm too strict and they refer to? Yes, that is a common concern in joint families. Um, it is a lengthy topic to talk on. But to summarize, one thing is, when we are in a joint family, uh, we'll definitely uh, several aspirations for our children. But when we are in a joint family, we need to select our aspirations from the aspiration list. We need to select a few and see which all are there that you cannot ever compromise on. Like from the 10 things that you want to teach your children and all, just pick two which is very important to you and raise your concern only on those areas. I actually I don't know in which area you are being strict, or you are expecting things to go like you wish. But then what we do with the client is, from the overall aspirations, we pick a few things which are very important, and when we stick on to them, that grandparents also should know that, we want good for our children. mm. But then their good is, the circle is very vast. mm. And ours is a bit confined because we know the long term damages also. They may not be considering that. So when we start countering each and everything, they'll also feel like, I need to counter more back. So instead, when we reduce our restrictions and stick on to one or two, which is very important to us, then there's a greater chance that they also involve and agree to it. And the second thing is built on the relationship with the in-laws. Um, just like we say bonding with the children, we need to have specific time in which we build the relationship with the in-laws. See the areas in which you agree upon and discuss about that a lot. And see every bit of thing that you can do to build the relationship, so that once a relationship is also built, they'll also be more onto your page, even though we cannot expect 100% in everything. And for that, there's a detailed video of parenting in joint family. You can check my personal YouTube channel, Vidhu Mariyam. You can check that. Confusions in children caused by different members. For just to add on one more thing, Dr. Amreen, there, to prevent a damage, as in, your child shouldn't be perceiving as you are too strict, and for that you need to do consistent efforts on building the bond and influence over the child, so that after a time, once that is set, your child, even though your child is longing for the screen also, they'll still have in mind that mama has stopped this for a reason. Okay, so that balance has to be there. Mubashira, confusions in children caused by different members. For instant tantrum control, someone feels fears, but we try to give them courage. How will be the outcome? Actually, I didn't get it. Like feeling the fear means, how is it? I got that two different people are handling the tantrums differently, right?
Yeah, sometimes for giving food, parents are telling them fear giving stories.
Ha ha. Okay,
That-
okay.
that's-
Okay. Well, you don't encourage that. Okay. See, when we are living in a joint family, and also this can be the situation when there is your spouse also with you. When multiple people are parenting, just make sure that the relationship you build with your child is pakka strong. Mhm. So that whatever small damages that comes from here and there, your child will be able to resist it. We cannot go and change everyone around. That is not in our control. Just work and focus on your area of control, which is on your child, on molding them and setting the relationship such that your child is open to your discussions. Okay, that is a common law for raising children in joint family. Okay, I'm a homeschooling mother. Okay, good to know that, Amreen. Which syllabus are you following? Okay, then we have come to the end of the session. Let's connect, Amreen. Let's connect outside this. Okay, happy to see you all. Thanks for spending time like this, and I hope the session was useful. Just give me feedbacks as on how to improve, what all were helpful to you. Just mention in the group like at least one takeaway that you got from today's session. Okay, thank you all. Bye. Take care.